Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unravel complex subjects by synthesizing a massive stack of sources and giving you the knowledge you need to be immediately well-informed.
And today, wow, we're going behind one of the most protected digital curtains in the world. For years, Google's search ranking algorithm has been defined by, well, educated guesses, half-truths, and constant company denials.
But thanks to an unprecedented set of disclosures, these are coming from the recent DOJ antitrust trial documents and some timely internal API leaks. We now have the gritty technical notes
Right.
from the engineering team.
Exactly. This isn't the usual polished public relations stuff. This is the mechanism kind of laid bare.
So our mission today is to synthesize what these internal documents confirmed about, long-standing suspicions and really understand what new complex AI systems are truly driving search results today.
That's right. We are confirming that the algorithm has, well, it's moved far beyond its early, fairly simple link-based foundation. PageRank isn't king anymore.
It sounds like it now relies on hundreds, maybe even thousands, of specific algorithms all working together.
That's what the picture suggests, yeah. Hundreds, maybe thousands, fueled by an almost shocking amount of user data.
Okay, let's unpack this. This is a really rare chance to see how the most powerful engine on the internet actually works under the hood. Let's maybe start with the origin story. PageRank. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, links were basically everything, right? If you had the most authoritative links pointing to you, you ranked high.
That was the core idea, yes.
So what did these new technical documents reveal about PageRank's role in, well, modern ranking? Is it still relevant?
They confirm that it still exists, which that's important in itself, but its role, fundamentally diminished. It's really no longer the central determining factor it once was.
Diminished how?
It's now described quite specifically as merely a single signal relating to distance from a known good source. And crucially, it only acts as an input into a much larger overall quality score calculation. It's not the score itself.
Okay, hold on. If PageRank is just a single input, why do companies, still spend billions every year trying to build or acquire authoritative links? Does this suggest links are actually less important than we, or at least the SEO industry, thought?
Well, the document suggests the relative importance has definitely shifted. It's moved away from just links and much more toward intrinsic content quality. The system seems designed to reward pages that internally demonstrate relevance and quality.
So the page itself.
Yes. The documents heavily emphasize that most of Google's quality signal is derived from the web page itself. That's a direct quote, essentially.
Wow, that is a monumental shift in focus, really. So we're talking about things like usability, page structure, depth of content, relevance. That's the modern cornerstone, derived from the page.
Exactly. That seems to be the core. But, before you even get to that deep quality assessment, the algorithm still has to do its first job. Match the query to the content.
Right, basics first.
Yeah, keywords are still foundational because, well, matching the user's query is the engine's core task. The process seems to start with topicality. Some systems apparently refer to this as the B signals, the basic match between the query terms and the document's content.
So find a pool of relevant stuff first.
Exactly. Find a large pool of topically relevant documents. Then the deeper quality assessment really kicks in.
Okay, now we get to, I think, the really juicy part. For years, Google representatives have publicly downplayed, sometimes outright denied, that user clicks and, behavioral data influence ranking.
Oh yeah, that's been the standard line.
Did these technical documents finally give us the definitive answer? Do clicks matter?
They pretty much settled the argument, yeah. With a very nuanced yes. The court files clarify that user interactions are relentlessly collected and transformed into predictive signals for machine learning models.
Relentlessly collected.
The documents state quite clearly, learning from this user feedback is perhaps the central way that web ranking has improved for 15 years.
Central. 15 years. So user feedback is central. How, technically speaking, is Google tracking and storing all that crucial interaction data? There must be massive systems involved.
There are. We need to introduce two really big systems mentioned, Navboost and Glue. Navboost is the first one. And contrary to a lot of popular rumor and speculation, the documents explicitly state Navboost is not a machine learning system itself.
Oh, interesting. So what is it?
It's described essentially as a giant spreadsheet, a click log. It stores user interaction data clicks, basically for the last 13 months.
13 months. A memory just for how users clicked on results? What specific data is in that log? What determines quality in a click?
Right, it's not just any click, it's the quality of the click that matters.
Mhm.
The log tracks metrics like bad clicks, good clicks, and the really revealing one, last longest click.
Okay, break those down. Bad clicks.
That's if you click a result and almost immediately hit the back button, what the SEO community calls Pogo sticking. That's a bad click, a major negative signal. Seems the content wasn't satisfying.
Got it. And last longest clicks.
That's the golden signal, really. It means you clicked a result, stayed on that page for a substantial amount of time, and it was the last result you clicked in that session for that query. It signals deep satisfaction and relevance.
So that long click, the dwell time, is like a clear user vote saying, yes, this answered my question.
Precisely. A strong positive signal. And all that raw interaction data captured by Navboost, it gets fed into the other big system called Glue.
Glue? What does Glue do?
Glue sounds like the super query log. It captures pretty much everything about a search session. The exact query text, the user's location, their device type, every single feature that appeared on the search results page, snippets, ads, maps.
Everything on the page.
Everything. Plus what the user clicked or even what they just hovered over. And crucially, how long they stayed on the search results page itself before clicking or leaving.
Wow.
Yeah. Glue acts as the system's living memory, constantly feeding patterns of successful and unsuccessful searches back into the ranking models to teach them what works.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. This deep reliance on user behavior, clicks, hover times, it raises that obvious question about Google's browser, Chrome.
The dominant browser, yeah.
Did the documents confirm that Chrome usage data actually feeds into these ranking signals? Is Google using its browser data?
They did confirm it, yes. The documents explicitly mention a popularity signal that uses Chrome visit data and also total Chrome views for a site.
There it is.
It confirms what many suspected. Google is leveraging user behavior data gathered from its huge browser market share.
Right.
This gives them a comprehensive view of site popularity and engagement that, frankly, no competitor can match.
Right, because no one else has access to that scale of real-world usage data across the web. It's a massive built-in structural advantage for training their ranking models.
Absolutely. A huge advantage.
That makes perfect sense, even if it's a bit concerning from a competition standpoint.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's move into the deeper mechanics. How does Google track the entire life history of billions and billions of web pages and then synthesize all this behavior data using AI?
Well, it seems to start with a kind of digital fingerprint. The doc-ID, every index page gets a unique doc-ID, but it's far more than just a simple label or URL identifier.
Okay, what's in it?
The doc-ID record apparently contains a full history of that specific page's life. Think about it. It's user click history, engagement signals pulled from systems like Navboost, its historical spam scores, crawl timestamps, overall popularity metrics. It's all associated with that ID.
So ranking isn't just about the page now. It's an assessment of that page's entire historical performance, log against its ID.
That appears to be a key part of it, yes. The history matters.
So the doc-ID gives the history, Navboost, and Glue provide the real-time, ongoing user behavior signals. What's the AI model, the deep learning system, that's responsible for actually synthesizing all of this into a final ranking score? Okay, that brings us to RankEmbed BERT. This is described as a critical, quite advanced deep learning model. It's designed to handle the complexity of modern ranking.
BERT, so it's a language model at its core.
Yes, a sophisticated language model. And it's trained on two really powerful sources. First, 70 days of recent search logs, so that continuous stream of real user behavior data we just talked about.
Okay, real-world data. And the second source.
Scores derived from human quality raters.
Ah, the human quality raters, the people who follow those super detailed EEAT guidelines, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is where the human judgment comes in, right?
Exactly.
But here's the common question. Do their scores directly manipulate the ranking of a specific page they review? Like, if a rater marks my page as high quality, do I get an immediate boost?
No. And that's a really crucial distinction that often gets misunderstood. The documents seem clear on this. Their scores don't directly boost or demote any live page in real time.
Okay, so what do they do?
They act as fundamental training data for the AI. The raters follow those detailed EEAT guidelines, and their collective evaluations essentially teach the RankEmbed BERT model what good content looks like and what bad or unsatisfying content looks like.
So they provide the examples, the ground truth.
Precisely. It's actually essential for helping the AI understand nuance, context, and quality for maybe more complex long-tail queries, where just matching keywords isn't enough to determine real quality.
So the human raters teach the AI the philosophy of quality, you could say, and then the AI applies that understanding at internet scale. It learns both objective criteria and the subjective user preference that actually drives satisfaction.
That's a great way to put it. It learns from both human judgment and mass user behavior. And let's not forget, this user behavior data even affects the very first stage of search, crawling.
How so?
Crawl frequency isn't random. The documents confirm that Google uses user data engagement signals, popularity, to decide which websites to crawl, in what order, and how often.
So popular, engaging pages get crawled more frequently.
That's the idea. Pages showing higher popularity and positive engagement signals get crawled more often, which ensures their fresh content gets indexed and potentially ranked faster.
And the flip side, if your site has low engagement or maybe a high historical spam score tracked in its dockety,
Your crawl priority drops.
Yeah.
Your updates might sit there, invisible to Googlebot, for days, maybe longer, because the signal suggests users aren't finding value there.
so your current user performance directly dictates your future visibility right from the crawl budget.
That's the direct implication shown in the documents, yeah. It's a feedback loop.
Okay, this is fascinating stuff. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, the learner? How do we translate these really deep technical systems, Navboost, Glue, RankEmbed BERT, Deeds, into an actionable strategy? What do we actually do now?
Well, I think the core takeaway, the big picture, is this shift toward a truly human-centric algorithm. It prioritizes user satisfaction after the click. The documents reveal that Google is fundamentally trying to measure whether your content was successful and useful for the person who clicked.
Right. So optimization strategy number one has to be laser focused on that user interaction post-click.
Absolutely. Optimize for satisfaction, not just for getting the click. You need to track things like dwell time, bounce rates, really critically. If users are consistently pogo sticking back to the search results page quickly after landing on your content,
That's a bad sign.
it's a bad sign. It tells Google your content failed the relevance or quality test for that query, and that negative signal feeds immediately back into Navboost, potentially harming your future rankings for related searches.
And since PageRank is now just one input signal, the actual intrinsic quality of the page itself must be paramount, right? Because that feeds the overall quality score.
It really is. The strategy has to be holistic. Focus on proving trustworthiness and expertise, those EEAT factors that the human raters are literally trained to look for.
Like adding author credentials, citing sources.
Exactly. Add author credentials, show expertise, cite credible sources, build your overall site authority. The documents actually confirmed Google tracks site-level authority via a feature they called Site Authority.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. And since the documents stress that the largest part of the quality signal comes from the page itself, you need to focus on usability, clear structure, providing real depth, and comprehensively satisfying the user's intent. Does the page answer the question fully and well?
Makes sense. We also saw just how deep Google's tracking goes, classifying every click, looking for manipulation.
Right, which leads to the final, maybe most crucial takeaway: avoid manipulation, don't try to game the system.
Because they'll catch you.
The documents detail specific systems designed just to detect and neutralize bad actors. Google specifically measures those bad clicks we talked about. They use internal functions with names like squashing, which sounds like a normalization technique, explicitly to prevent inflated or fake click data from biasing the ranking models.
So fake clicks, shady link schemes.
They're not just ineffective, they're actively harmful. The system will track those negative actions, associate them with your site via its docket history, and it will likely hurt your site's reputation and rankings far more, and for far longer, than any short-term trick could ever help.
Okay, this has been a massive synthesis, really pulling back the curtain. We learned today that yes, clicks absolutely matter, but they're measured in sophisticated ways by systems like Navboost and Glue, looking for signs of satisfaction.
And that advanced AI models like RankEmbed BERT are the engines driving modern ranking, trained using both that fire hose of live user behavior data and the nuanced judgments of human quality raters.
And crucially, that the core strength, the biggest signal for ranking well today, comes from the intrinsic quality, the satisfaction, the relevance, the trustworthiness demonstrated by the content on the page itself.
Yeah. Exactly. And, that leads to a final provocative thought for you to consider. These documents, they really show that Google's algorithm isn't static. It's in a state of constant quiet evolution, continually adapting as user behavior changes. So the next time you search for something,
Yeah.
just remember that your actions, Where you choose to click, how long you stay on a page, whether you hit that back button quickly, that data is immediately being fed into systems like Navboost and Glue. You're providing that crystal clear user feedback, the raw data that directly shapes what the internet and Google's results look like tomorrow.
A powerful reminder. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us. We'll see you next time.